What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Offbeat, episode 14.
14.
Yes, sir.
No hiatus this time.
Yeah, no hiatus.
Going back to business.
Yeah. Obviously, we got some shit to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about it. But before we talk about it, if you're watching the video version of this podcast, the game that's being played in the background is called Ghost of a Tale. Ghost of a Tale, it follows a courageous minstrel mouse named Tilo on a perilous quest to escape the dungeons of Dwindly Heights Keep and discover the fate of his true love.
What?
Yeah. It's an action-adventure game. Game's available on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Really looks kind of cool, so I'm gonna try it.
Like the description sounded like a romantic Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, fuck it. You play as a mouse, dude. This shit's crazy. The graphics look pretty clean too.
Oh, I might have to give it a try then.
And if you don't want to watch the video version, you could listen to us on Spotify, on the go,
That's right.
on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Overcast, and many more that are all in the description box below in our link tree.
Yep, and as always, make sure to rate the podcast 5 stars and comment. Help your boys out with the algorithm.
Yes, sir.
So more people, we can bring all this wonderful topics we're talking about to more people.
Yeah.
Keep them informed.
Yeah.
So make sure you do that.
Yeah. Okay. All right, since all that's out of the way, let's talk business.
So I guess to start it off, we want to talk about Nintendo. That's something you guys rarely hear, in the podcast, but we still fucks with Nintendo. Don't get it twisted. Nintendo 64 was my first console, technically. Your boy was too broke at a young age to even get the Sega, and those consoles that came before that. So Nintendo always has love in our hearts. But for those who are fans of the Switch, who feel like they're falling behind a little bit, with the new gen consoles that came out for PlayStation and fucking Xbox, right? PCs got new graphics cards. Hey, Nintendo heard y'all, and they're doing big things this year, 2021. So a couple of days ago, I believe it was 2 days ago, it was said that there will be a new model of the Switch coming out this year, and it's going to come with some upgrades. So, for instance, the big major upgrade will be that this new model, I guess the new models will have a new screen that's going to be made by Samsung. It's going to be an OLED display panel. Instead of being the original, I believe, 6.2 inches, it's now going to be a 7-inch OLED Samsung screen. Hey, I love Samsung. I got a Samsung TV. I got a Samsung phone. These fucking screens, bro, always on point. Fucking clean.
Okay.
That's basically my mirror, because I don't have a mirror. But so that's a big deal. So in a Telltale form, it's still going to be a 720p resolution. But as you know, for those who have Jesus Christ, it's like a fucking tongue twister. An OLED panel, especially as a TV, you know that it's going to bring a crisper image, right? Sharper image. It's going to look nicer, brighter. The contrast, the colors are going to be very accurate. So that's going to be a nice little upgrade. Games are going to look much better, even though it's still going to be outputting a 720p resolution. I think the most exciting thing, though, is now if you dock the system and you connect it to a compatible TV, so a 4K OLED TV, you will now be getting 4K resolution on your video games in the dock mode. So I think that's fucking dope. I think now the Switch can compete with the next gen, you know, with the PlayStation 5 and Xbox now. So for those who love y'all Marios, you won't be getting Mario in 4K. And
What?
then obviously, the goal is to get it at a 60 frame rates, right?
Yeah.
If they do, if that's how it comes out, we're still unsure. We'll see how that goes. But that is the plan. I mean, that is the standard now, right? With the new gen, 60 FPS, no more 30. We won't do that no more.
Yes, sir.
That's old. That's old shit. So the rumors are that Samsung is gonna start mass producing. They want at least to start off a million. A million. They don't want none of this bullshit that happened where these Xboxes and PS5 4 months later are still out of stock every damn day. They're gonna start mass producing. I think in June. I believe that was what it said. And in July, I think that's when they want to get shipment ready. They want to send the other mass produced units to assemblers and get them prepped for shipment by July. So we're already in March?
Yeah.
That means in 3 months they're gonna start mass producing these new switches. They want to get them out to assemblers and get them ready for ship by July. So with that type of really fast turnaround, I believe these things might be out by what, August or September. It's looking like, because it seems like it's gonna be a really
if they start mass producing by June, yeah, I'll say
yeah.
by the end
That's
of the
that's the
year.
goal. If everything falls into time, I mean, as quick as they want to put these out, if they really are already going to assemblers and slated for shipment by July, I think they might be out by maybe probably late August, early September.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's very, very quick turnaround. I almost said quick around. So I mean, we're already in March. I think that's dope for Switch fans. You can go ahead and upgrade for those that have been trying to get a Switch. Now, I wouldn't even bother. I would just wait the extra couple months and go for the new version. Right now, it doesn't really have a name. They're just calling it the Nintendo Switch 2. So I
Pretty
would
simple. It's
definitely
fine.
wait. Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is basically their answer for their system to compete with the new gen of the PlayStation and Microsoft. Hey, I'm all for it, man.
And
It's
before Nintendo fans have us by the throat, Nintendo doesn't need to release another fucking shit. They already compete regardless. So obviously they're still making a shit ton of money from the Switch, and they're still making more money than more than the fucking PlayStation and fucking Xbox. So it's like obviously this is just gonna make their profits go up. So that's kind of cool.
Well, when I say compete, is the fact that most most fans don't want to fall behind in terms of performance, right? Like I say, the Switch up to now, it's gonna feel a little bit outdated, for those who got the new consoles. I mean, think about it. It's a handheld. It's a 720 output, right? And dock, the most it was getting is 1080p at 30 frames. For those who do love performance, this is just a way for the Switch to be more competitive performance wise.
That's
Right
true. That's
now,
true.
it's 4K. They don't, in terms of, I don't mean competitive in terms of sales, because Nintendo's very fucking popular. The
Yeah.
Switch is a very popular fucking console. It's dope. It's portability, and all that. It's just, when I say compete, is Nintendo wants to compete in terms of performance as well.
Yeah. I hope it
And
happens. I
now
hope it
they're doing.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how we're gonna start off. Shout out to Nintendo for doing it. And I'm excited. I'm definitely copping.
Oh.
I think one of my biggest regrets
Mm-hmm.
was selling my Switch. I ain't gonna lie. And I was like, at the time I was heavily playing the Breath of the Wild
Mm-hmm.
and some Fire Emblem. I beat the Fire Emblem, but fuck, the Breath of the Wild was long. I think I was about halfway done. And then I was like, you know what, whatever. I'll sell this thing. And I regret it every day.
Every day of your life now.
Every day. Yeah.
Samsung is making moves right now because I think
Hey, shout out
They're
to
they're, they're
Samsung.
making a partnership with Xbox as well.
Look, for those like I personally love the screens on the Samsung phones over Apple phones as well. Yeah, I said it. You want to come at me, Apple fans? Go ahead.
Game.
You know, yeah. And I think they look sharp, right? And I think the image is just as amazing on Samsung TVs. I prefer, like, to me, when it comes to TVs, the brands that I like really love that I've seen from experience of owning are LGs and Samsungs. There's something about just Samsung displays, the way they put their panels together, their screens. I just love them. And now they want to get into gaming. Hey, they are doing big things. That's just gonna make their profits go up, right?
Yep. All
Shout
right.
out to them.
And I guess we could just stick on the video game front. I guess Phil Spencer, if you don't know the Lord and Savior Phil Spencer,
This guy.
he came out in an interview recently, and a lot of people have been making rumors and suggestions about the things that were behind Phil Spencer on his display cases. And I just wanted to chime in on these rumors because you never know. Maybe one of these are actually true, and obviously one of the big rumors that are coming out is that behind Phil Spencer in that video, you see an Xbox logo next to a statue of a character from a production company, and that production company is Kojima Production. I don't know why I said it like that, but for that kind of seems like a coincidence for that to be there. It seems like I think they are
What?
trying to like a coincidence.
Mhm.
Like it seems like maybe they're hinting at something. Maybe they're hinting at a partnership. I don't think it'll be like a buyout or anything like that, but maybe like more of Kojima's games will come out on Xbox, which would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
But you never know with these fuckers. They fucking hit a fucking Xbox behind him, and no one fucking knew.
So, what would you say their biggest game is?
Xboxes
The
or
biggest franchise?
Kojima's?
No, not Kojima's.
Xbox? Wait, what? Kojima's? It's Metal Gear Solid, bro. You really have to ask that?
I mean, when's the last time you played a Metal Gear Solid?
I mean, I never played a Metal Gear Solid, but I understand why people love that game. That's like, I never played a Final Fantasy game.
I feel
I'm
like
not gonna say that like, oh, it's not a big game.
I feel like I don't know. It could be big, but what would that entice? Like that partnership? Are we talking about? Is the game going to be exclusive just to Xbox? Is it just going to be a time exclusive for, like, let's say a year?
Well, Kojima's games don't really come out on Xbox, bro. I think the last one that came out was Metal Gear Solid 5, and
so the hype is now those games are going to be,
and maybe future ones
on Xbox, but it won't be just solely Xbox. Then it'll still be dual platformed.
Well,
where it's still going to release on PlayStation.
If it's a partnership, yeah, probably. If it's a buyout, it's probably just going to be on the Xbox, ecosystem,
You don't think they would buy him out? Because Japanese studios do love Sony.
Yeah, but for him to like even have like discussions with Xbox is kind of, if there is discussions, that's kind of iffy.
Big. It's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal for this guy. This is like if fucking Martin Scorsese decided not to make fucking movies with Warner Brothers anymore, or whoever he makes movies with, and then he's like, I'm gonna make movies for Netflix now.
I wouldn't want to make movies with Warner Bros. Right now.
Wait, he did make a movie with Netflix. What am I talking about? That was whatever, or like Christopher Nolan leaving Warner Brothers to go make a movie with Netflix. That's a big deal.
Yeah,
in the movie industry, not a lot of people care about the movie industry.
You know what? Fuck it. If they do get some partnership going, and let's say there's a new Metal Gear, how many others? 5 so far?
Yeah, well, 6, but no one talks about that 6th one.
No. If they do come up with a 7 and it comes on the console, I guess I'll play it. I'll play it. Why not?
If it's on Game Pass, what if it's a partnership to have all their games on Game Pass?
Then I'll play Death Stranding. I'll play that one. I wanted to try that one.
All right. Okay.
I heard a lot of mixed reviews about that one, but I wanted to give myself a try. I mean, that's the one that has the Norman Reeves, right?
Yeah, Norman Reedus.
Sorry, Rick.
Is it Reedus? It's one or the other.
It's one or the other. I stopped watching that show a long fucking time ago.
But obviously that's not the only thing that was on his like display shelf. There was the Watchdog Legion's skull. Oh, so like maybe that's hinting at a partnership with like, you know, Watch Dogs is coming out on Game Pass, you know? Or
hey, that'd be fire.
Lately there's been rumors saying that Ubisoft games are gonna put their shit on Game Pass. Uplay, whatever that shit's called. So maybe that's a hint at that, you know? I don't know.
I hope the Legion one comes because then I don't have to go out of my way to at least even spend $30 for that game. I can just download it on Game Pass and get to it. That'd be fire.
And then I guess the other big one was Nintendo Switch being on his display shelf, I guess. Obviously, you know, all of these are taken with a grain of salt, you know? You don't know if these are going to come true or not.
Maybe he had that for when he was trying to buy a Nintendo.
Microsoft making the play to buy Nintendo.
And then he just forgot to take it out of his desk. He's like, oh, fuck it.
But obviously, you know, like again, take this with all the grain of salt, but what if like this is hinting at a Xbox character coming out on Super Smash Bros.
Dude, hey, this has been a long time rumor because the fans want this to happen. We want to see a Master Chief
in Super Smash Bros.
Put fucking hands on Kirby, bro, or Link.
Oh yeah,
or Mario. You know what I'm saying?
What would be his moveset though?
I don't know. That'd be kind of difficult.
Like maybe like his hammer could be the gravity hammer. And he just launches. Like,
true.
People. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, there's a lot of things that were on that shelf. Obviously, you know, some were like hidden more. And like I said, the Xbox and the Kojima statue, it kind of seemed like that was just like it was put on there for purpose. Like,
the reason like this is news is because Phil has a history of like putting Easter eggs like that
behind him during interviews.
Yeah, he'll throw like subtle things like that, and then nobody would think much of it, and then news that relate to that.
Yeah,
basically he's putting it out there for for everyone. But sometimes they're just things that people look past because it's like, oh, it's just a statue, right? He's probably a fan. Yeah. But it's just little Easter eggs of things to come. So these things are very possible.
Like fucking Xbox, they fucking hid the new Xbox headset that came out in a fucking commercial. So it's like, you know, I wouldn't put it past them that they're trying to hit at something, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll see. It'll be crazy if they bought out Kojima. That'll be some fucking. That would like break the gaming industry, dude. Everyone will start crying, especially Sony fans.
Yeah, because like I said, usually Japanese studios love Sony, right? Most of the games usually come out exclusive to Sony. Yeah,
does Xbox even own a Japanese studio?
I doubt it.
Well, they work with Moon Studios, and that was only for like Ori and all that shit, you know?
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Oh, I guess another thing about Xbox was I guess today was the day that their purchase of ZeniMax Studios has finally gone through. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna get some news pretty soon about
7 billion.
7.5 billion, dude.
Jesus.
Jesus. I guess we'll find out about what's their plan with ZeniMax, and you know, are the games becoming exclusive or are they not becoming exclusive? Are they going to stay multi-platform?
They said some of the titles that were already in production might still come out multi-plat, right? Not all. I think they say one or two. Some But then future titles, the rumors might be just straight up
Xbox.
Xbox exclusive.
Yeah, because I understand what people
Because-
say.
because
Like,
before the purchase, I guess some of these studios that were already had the games in production had already basically, I don't want to say deals, but
well, only 2 games.
I would say but they had already agreements. That's what I'm trying to say that they were going to come out on PlayStation, right? As well, so I think those might still come out multi-plat.
Mhm.
Maybe could be one, but I feel like if not both, at least one will. And going forward, any future titles are gonna be Xbox exclusive.
W whatever. I mean, I don't really care if they're exclusive or not. I'm still gonna be playing the game. So, I like Bethesda Studios. I like all their studios that ZeniMax owns.
Fix your Fallout franchise though.
Well, it's only okay. Fallout 4 was kind of bad.
Yeah, and then you put out, instead of redeeming yourself, you put out Fallout 76. That garbage.
Yeah.
Look,
never do that again.
Yeah. At least now you're under the same umbrella as your former sister company,
Obsidian.
Hey, if y'all got to get together again to make a new Fallout, to make it the best as possible, hey, do what you got to do. Y'all part of Xbox Studios now. Work together and give us a new banger Fallout.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't have to be Vegas 2. It could be. If it is, awesome.
But
if you're gonna come out with if you're gonna come out with another Fallout,
it could be about whatever's.
Ask for help. Don't be prideful. Like the homie El Demonio, like Bloodlust Bug likes to say, drop your ego.
Yeah, drop your ego, homie.
Drop your ego.
Your fucking ego, duh. Okay, so I guess that's enough for gaming news, and I guess the last topic I guess we wanted to talk about is something that it's very close to home for me, as a car is like going off in the background. Hold on.
Yeah, I hear that. Before we get to that, because I know we want to spend most of this time on Justice League, there's actually another quick news bite that we can just quickly go over. Just take a couple minutes here on some nerd shit as well. And I guess today is the last episode of the season for WandaVision.
Oh my god!
I don't want to talk about this.
I don't want to talk about this.
Have you been seeing it?
Yes. I'm disappointed.
Yeah. Hold up, don't start, because I haven't seen the last episode yet.
I'm not talking about it.
But we're not gonna give spoilers here. But I would recommend to check it out.
Yeah, okay.
We haven't told you already.
Okay, the movie, the show is not bad. The show is not bad.
It started off a little rocky, but it only really lasted 2 episodes. Once the 3rd episode hit, you kind of got the hang of everything. But since then, it's been built. It's been just banger of episodes, one after the other, and just want to let the people know today is the last episode of the season. So get after it, binge it if you have to. It's 9 episodes. It's just that they're each 40 minutes, right? 41 minutes.
I think they were 30, but I think the last 3 were over 40 or something
40.
like that.
Yeah, so just want to bring that to light. I think Marvel Studios dropped another banger there. This has made me hopeful for Loki and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Well, for me, Loki was the only one that I was really looking forward to. I thought it looked the best out of all of them. Winter Soldier, whatever that shit's called, I don't really care.
It doesn't matter as much to me, but now it's got me curious.
I heard it's rated R.
Is it?
I think so. If it is, I want to check it out.
Hey, dude.
Yeah, but they said The Mandalorian was rated R. Bro. They said The Mandalorian was rated R. It wasn't rated R. But come on, let's be honest.
Yeah. So just because he shoots some people with blasters and there's no blood that comes out.
Blasters? Are you talking about Mandalorian?
Yeah, Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about Bucky.
Just because he shoots people with blasters doesn't make it rated R.
Yeah, true.
Nobody even really bleeds in Star Wars, bro. You ever thought is the laser so hot that it just vaporizes your blood when it makes a hole through you?
I guess in a way, yeah.
Like the lightsaber when it chops arms off and heads off, people just don't have blood. in the galaxy, or like I don't know. But just because you shoot someone doesn't make it rated R. Disney. If you're gonna say rated R, give us rated R. But and yeah, I mean, to be
If you want to
honest,
see rated R, watch Justice League. Let's go.
oh yeah, which is where we're gonna, that's a great segue. That's a perfect segue. Go ahead,
Yes, sir.
take it from the top.
Zack Snyder, another Lord and Savior right there, my man. You finally could do shit. You finally get to see your movie, bro. But I can't wait for that fucking movie. They're doing teasers right now. Today's the 5th of March. They released a Batman teaser last night, and it shows Ben Affleck with his beautiful ass chin as Batman, and like you hear a couple voices, and low key, I'm getting fucking hyped as fuck for this movie. I think this movie is gonna blow a lot of expectations away, and I don't really care what critics think because they're usually fucking stupid as fuck.
Yeah, I feel like they have their mind made up of the first one already.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
They're biased as hell,
But
So
I just want to see what his initial plans were, and his initial plans were leaked. Well, not really leaked, but it kind of seems like a power movie, Deadpool became a movie because Ryan Reynolds leaked that shit, He didn't give a fuck. He's like, I'm gonna make this fucking movie. I'm gonna show people how this movie looks, and they're gonna want that shit. So I could see Zack be like pulling off like a little power move to get people to want his movie, And obviously, if you're a fan of DC, I guess just like Zack is, you will want to make a Justice League movie, a Batman movie. Like these are your dreams, and I guess that was pretty much his dream growing up. And I want to see him complete his trilogy. He compared that creating his trilogy was something like the Lord of the Rings. I love the Lord of the Rings.
Damn right.
I think it's one of the best franchises of all time right there. I'm not talking about Justice League, I'm talking about Lord of the Rings. But I guess go ahead.
I was going to say, shout out to Tolkien for writing an amazing story, and a shout out for Jackson for being able to put it on screen.
Shout out to Peter Jackson for leaking the script to get it away from Harvey Weinstein, whatever the fuck his bitch ass name is.
That fucking criminal.
Fucking disgusting fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Peter Jackson. Shout out to Peter Jackson and Zack.
I feel like, you mean Jack?
Oh, Zack Snyder, my bad. Zack Snyder, like my brother likes to say, because that motherfucker's jacked the fuck up. Yeah. He's jacked.
I'm sure that's not the reason he calls him Jack. He just gets his butt.
Yeah, he just gets his name messed up.
Yeah, but that's how I cover his story. He calls him Jack because he's Jack, bro. Fucking triceps. Yeah, that picture with Batfleck.
Oh my god!
I was like, God damn, this motherfucker be hitting the dips hard. I saw I'm gonna track in my triceps.
Yes, sir.
Flex on these hoes.
But
do you remember? Like, apparently, obviously the movie's gonna be 4 hours and 1 minute. I think
something like that.
Time. And I guess there's like throughout the movies, there's certain chapters.
Yeah.
Right? Do you remember the names for each one?
Fuck.
Isn't there like 6 or 7?
There's 6 chapters.
6 chapters.
Let me see.
I honestly am excited for this. I think Zack is gonna do a great job. Like, it was like it's been. I mean, you've already heard, if you guys didn't read, it was all over Twitter. It was trending for a little bit, but how an executive from Warner Brothers came out and said that when they first saw like the Whedon cut, like how like they were shocked at how bad that movie was. And they don't want to say that. I'm surprised. I mean, as much as the budget was wasted, I'm sure that they had to put it out, right, with all that money lost.
Yeah.
I would have probably just been like, the whole situation went down with with Zack. I mean, I guess it was a hard situation for Warner Bros. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
And it's very telling because, I mean, Whedon. I don't want to say he's a bad
Nah,
director.
he's a bad director.
Yeah,
Okay, he's all right. He's all right. He's all
okay.
right.
So like, because if you think about it, he also produced the worst Avenger movie.
No. He directed the first Avengers, and then he directed, I think, Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Yeah, and which one was the worst one? Age of Ultron.
Yeah, low key.
Yeah, if you like, no matter what the fuck the critics say, the general consensus for even fans is, out of all of them, Ultron was probably,
Yeah, the worst.
So
one.
there's a history there.
Yeah.
Of fuck ups.
In my eyes, Joss Whedon's best work is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and low key, that's like, I don't even. When did that show come out?
Like, talking about the old one, like the one in the fucking
90s,
2000s,
like 90s and 2000s,
90s, 2000s.
Yeah, so that shows you this guy. He's past his prime. He's done. That disgusting fuck, that racist ass bitch.
Wow.
Nah, homie, I stand with Ray Fisher, dog. Hashtag stand with Ray Fisher.
Yeah, and then like, I blame the guy who decided, hey, Whedon's gonna be the perfect guy for this.
Jeff Johns.
Jesus Christ.
Obviously there's a lot of things that like executives, producers of the movies that like obviously changed a lot of the movie. And I guess you could tell from the original, or I guess the Whedon's version of the movie, because we're getting the original now. But it just sucks that like when this guy, this producer Jeff Johns came on to, hey, I'm gonna lead DC into the golden age or whatever, he's the reason it went downhill. Everything was fine. I thought Man of Steel was probably arguably one of the best comic book movies of all time. Batman vs Superman had a lot of like, people that didn't like it, but for his universe, I thought it was good for where it was heading. And I think that's what a lot of people didn't understand, was that, Batman vs Superman was just setting up the whole universe, You finally introduce Batman, you introduce everyone. And like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I think the problem here is that because everything, by that time, we were already deep into the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
And they try to compare it. They didn't really give like anything to see a fair shot, because everything was like, how's it going to be compared to the Avengers and the MCU? This is its own thing.
Yes.
It's not. I think when it comes to the MCU, their movies are more, I want to say, what's the word I'm looking for? They're more geared toward casual audiences.
Yes.
People that are not really fans and no true and like Marvel comics, right? And story.
Well,
and they're really they were made to kind of also attract the casual audience who's never really read comics, know who these people were. They're more, that's what I mean when I say they're more casual friendly.
Yeah.
Right? Compared to the Justice League or anything to see where these kind of directors, I'd say Patty Jenkins not as much, but someone like Zack, who's more like, I'm a fan of the comics and I want to follow deeply these storylines.
Well, I think in my eyes, I feel like, the first Wonder Woman movie was great to me. I thought, it captured what Wonder Woman needed to be, how she was. But it's like with the second one, again, with like the studio, even though she says that the studio didn't interfere, David Ayer, the director of Suicide Squad, said that at first he was like, oh yeah, this is my movie. And now he's saying like, no. Like, now that I'm not on like, a contract anymore, I can say whatever the fuck I want. And that movie is not the movie that I first made. And I feel like the same thing is happening with Patty Jenkins. I think, obviously, probably under contract that she can't say certain things, but I don't feel like that second movie is something that she would have made. And
I think maybe the issue is Warner Brothers.
Like,
they don't allow these directors creative freedom
like,
because I feel like they're trying to. I think in the mindset of the studios is we're trying to get as much money as we can out of these
well,
movies.
yeah, obviously.
If we need to make him like Marvel,
Mm-hmm.
then so be it. And don't do that. Do your own fucking thing, right? Let these directors
Do what they got to do.
do what they got to do because these are not bad directors. These are movies who have put out bangers. I mean, let's be honest. Zack Snyder's uh, Watchmen is a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah, to a lot of people, but there's people that, don't understand what the film is trying to talk about, or say that, hey, it's not like the comic book, and it's like, dude, it's kind of hard to make it like the comic book, okay? Like,
Yeah, so like even when it comes to Marvel, not everything's like comic book adapted, like story for story. The good thing about what he did with Watchmen, it was adapted into a version that everyone understood. Right, because there was a lot the comic book, believe it or not, there was a lot of political motives behind it.
Yeah, comic book or fucking movie or even the new fucking television show, it's always gonna be political heavy. That was the point of Watchmen.
Yeah, and Zach was able to translate the film into kind of the modern era where people understood, right? So I think like I said, these are directors who have made bangers, right?
Yeah.
They know what they're doing, and the studio just needs to give them the creative freedom so they can put out their vision. They need to stop trying to be like sell. I guess it's a business, right? So that's what
they have to do.
That's what their mind. They're more about the money, but just let it be its own thing. It doesn't need to be Marvel. It doesn't even need to be successful as Marvel. It needs to be successful in its own way.
I think in my eyes,
greedy fucks.
Yeah, they are greedy fucks. Well, I mean, let's be honest. There's a lot of like, even Disney are
that's Hollywood and
that's but in my eyes, I like the comic book films that take they take inspiration. Like let's say Man of Steel took inspiration about Superman, right? It got some of the stories, but it made its own story. And I feel like that's where DC was doing it right. Same thing with Christopher Nolan's trilogy. It took inspiration of different stories, but it made its own story. And I feel like that's where DC's bread and butter is. You don't have to follow the comics to the T. There are times, when in Man of Steel, when Superman killed Zod. Spoiler if you haven't seen Man of Steel. But yeah, that's your fault. But obviously that hit home to a lot of people that were comic fans of Superman, and it's justifiable. But you gotta see that this movie is not it's not saying that it's a comic accurate Superman, even though it kind of is. This is its own Superman, and I think that's how people should be like viewing this universe, at least DC's universe, is that this is all I would say an alternate universe, I guess. Fuck, I don't even know what the word is. It's just a different version, pretty much. Okay, it's not gonna be the version that you think it is. And I didn't mind Batman killing. We always got the Batman that I'm not gonna use guns. So for people saying Murderverse, let it be the fucking Murderverse, dude. I don't give a fuck. I want to see these things, his plans, because obviously, some guy said that he made a museum with Zack's permission about what his part 2 and part 3 was gonna be, and honestly, I could see the resemblance of the Lord of the Rings. Like, this movie was gonna be fucking those at least 2 movies were gonna be fucking fantastic. And with everyone that came out of Suicide Squad, everyone that came out in the other movies, and I'm not saying every character, but some characters that came out in those movies having to have a big play in the future movies. So I hate it when people will say oh, what does that mean for this movie? They showed the nightmare sequence in Batman vs Superman. Everyone's like, what does that have to do with that movie? It's it's not about him showing them in that movie. It's about what that sequence is gonna come back to play in future movies. It's always setting up future shit. And I think that's what I've always liked about Zack's at least his two actual movies and us seeing his actual third movie, is that you're finally gonna see where everything is setting up, like what the setup. This is finally everything coming together. You get me? So, that's why I'm excited for this movie. I think it's gonna be great. 4 hours, 2 hours, it could be a fucking hour. I don't give a fuck. I've been waiting for this movie. So, yeah.
We finally get to watch the true Justice League.
Yeah, the true Justice League movie, and I'm, a lot of behind the scene things happen, including something that's like very sad and tragic that happened to Zack Snyder, and it's just like I guess it's awesome to see him finally get to finish something that like during a time period that really hurt him. So I love that it's gonna end with his daughter's name, and I can't wait to see that shit.
Yeah.
And I could say the chapters, but if I'd rather just leave that up to
the listener.
Yeah, let the movie show you the chapters. But yeah, that's all I really got to say about Justice League. If you don't have HBO Max, watch that shit. Watch that shit like 3 times. Fucking buy that shit.
As big as like Disney Plus is, I give HBO Max credit here because they have a list of bangers coming out. Exactly. And shout out to them for those states that do have theaters open. Lucky y'all. They're also being like, okay, we still understand we're in a pandemic. We still understand most people have gone into like this home theater type shit.
Yeah.
And even on day one, they're dropping it on HBO Max. I mean, we got a bomb ass lineup. We still got Kong versus Godzilla coming out. I mean, did you just, for those that probably weren't aware or didn't hear the news, I mean, you can go out on YouTube and watch a trailer. The Mortal Kombat series.
Yeah. Well, the movie.
The movie. It's gonna be dropping there.
The Tom and Jerry movie just like came out last week. I heard it's pretty good.
Yeah, for those that were born in the '90s, shout out to '90s kids, throwback. And I mean, they're doing it big.
Yeah,
I fucks with that. So I think it's worth it. $15 a month. Netflix is more expensive, and let's be honest, Netflix been trash the last couple of months.
The only saving grace that it has.
And some of their best like originals
are getting canceled and shit.
So
fuck them.
Don't waste your money on that. Yeah, don't waste your money on some bullshit. Go get you some HBO Max. Trust me.
Yeah,
you're gonna love it.
But I guess at the end of the day, if you're a fan of Zack, if you want to see this Justice League, if you're a fan of this universe, watch this fucking movie. Regardless if you're gonna love it or hate it, just watch it. Just because, hey, they might make an insane amount of money just from the people that are subscribing just to watch this movie. And you never know. They might continue on, They might just be like, hey, let's just let this guy make more movies for HBO Max, Like, that shit would be fuego in my eyes.
Yeah, based on how greedy those fuckers are.
They'll want to, yeah.
How successful the movie is, I'm sure they would want to be like, you know what? Let's go with this idea. Let's keep it rolling.
And you know what? Like, fuck Warner Brothers, We gotta we have to push the agenda to make the movie make so much money that, Warner Brothers is not owned by AT&T, that it opens AT&T's eyes and be like, hey, fuck whatever the fuck you're thinking, Warner Brothers. We're in charge here now. We're gonna make more because we made so much money off of that shit. So,
yeah, and I do want to lastly just give a shout out to my boy Zack, aka Jack, because homie was so passionate about his project that he came back to do it. Right, he already gotten paid, even though he didn't complete the movie. He had already gotten paid. I mean, he didn't have to come back and do this. Right, the idea was scrapped. They changed his movie. It came out. It wasn't really. The audience didn't really take it well. But he's so passionate about this project that he came back and finished it. Didn't get paid, nothing. He had already gotten paid before. He didn't have to come back.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, you know what? I had a vision. I want to complete it. This movie, my version, the real vision of this movie needs to be put out there for the fans. It's basically he's doing this for the fans, no one else. Not for the fucking studio, not for this is for the fans and the actors who got cheated out
Pretty
of
much,
what the movie was.
Pretty much everyone that just worked on Justice League, because even the original composer is back, which is Junkie XL, who's in my opinion one of the best composers in Hollywood. So it's nice to see like everyone seeing like, hey, this shit's happening. We need to be there to fucking finish this shit. You get me? Like, we want to see our I want to hear his fucking music.
This is a first in the movie industry. I mean, think about it.
It's not the first, but it rarely fucking happens. Like, because I think Superman 2 has a director cut too, and I'm pretty sure it's pretty different. Yeah,
there's other movies that have directors but they're like, I would say for because of the biggest.
Yeah. This is the biggest like
how much different everything was. Like it. Like people say it was. It seems like the rumors, like it. The Whedon's version is a whole different movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like directors usually have some content, like usually up to 30 minutes. That was cut out rate. Some minor differences, but apparently this is just
completely different. Whole different movie.
Obviously, there's still going to be some scenes. I think the budget for the Snyder Cut was only around 75 million because some of the shots they just reusing from the old one, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, it's still going to be some of the same, but like in terms of the overall feel, the way the story goes, it's like it's a completely different movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean when I say first, because
it's really like a whole different movie coming up. Yeah, I agree with you.
And basically, the fans and the actors themselves made this happen. Because at first, holy fuck, I drank water and it went down the wrong pipe. My fucking chest hurts. You don't hear what that happens?
Yeah.
Like, they made it happen because I think Warner Bros. Was reluctant at first, right? And then the actors themselves, they got on Twitter, the power of social media.
Yeah.
And the fans, power of social media,
they
bullied Warner Bros. Ass to do it.
And that's dope.
Fuck you mean, boy? You gonna do right by us?
And and obviously there's times that like how do I explain this? Like sometimes the bullying isn't warranted, sometimes. But like obviously, let's say with the Sonic, like with the Sonic movie, if he looked like the original shit, I wouldn't mind. But
I'm sorry, with the way Sonic looked when that first trailer came out was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I understand that, and I'm saying I don't mind that they changed it, but like I think the movie was good enough on its own after seeing it that I don't think the character design would have changed anything. Like if it was the original character design, that's what I'm trying to say. So like,
hey, sometimes you just gotta do right. And these are like,
yeah. And like that's why I think like, sometimes it's warranted, but then there's sometimes like, I'm gonna use Star Wars. Star Wars fans think that their way is the right way and that's it. And in a way, Disney got bullied to the point that we had to like fix everything up. And that last movie was fucking garbage, dude. Like, what the fuck was that?
What people need to do is bully Disney to just fucking stop making money.
Exactly. But, obviously, it's nice to see that, like, hey, I bet it's nice for him to see that he has support of, like, millions and millions of fucking people, So, that's kind of cool. Kind of cool, man.
13 more days.
13, and we're probably going to do a review on that shit.
Yes, we are, so be on the lookout for that.
Okay, so we reached about like 50 minutes. I think that's enough. Obviously, we talked about a good amount of shit today. We might make a separate video just for the Justice League thing, but I don't know. We'll see.
Most likely.
Yeah, most
likely.
We'll
have a lot to say.
So yeah, if you like the channel, please hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. And
And
also
then,
share if you can, if you want to. You know, I hope you do.
and for those on the go, listening us to an audio versions, as always, rate 5 stars, comment. Like I said, shoot us up those algorithms, help us out to reach new and more audience,
Yes, sir.
so they can be informed, they can stay up. I mean, hey, there's a lot of nerds in this world, you know. So let's make it happen.
And
Fucking unite,
if you
Avengers assemble.
and if you want to follow us on social media or hit a follow button on all those other things, there's construction happening in the background. I don't know if you could hear it, and if you do, I'm sorry.
Big changes to the house.
Yeah.
Big change, bro.
You know, hit us, like, follow us on our link tree. Everything is on the link tree. Just go to the link tree.
Official Instagram page, official Twitter.
Yes, sir. So, you know, that's it, I guess. Peace out, guys.
We out.